Friday, January 2nd, 4:18 p.m. New York time. Welcome back, investors, to Winning Wall Street's Money. Going to look at currencies and Bitcoin. Top down charts from a monthly to a weekly to a daily. Look at the key currency first. The US dollar index. Far right chart is the monthly, the middle, the weekly, and the left is the daily. The key word here is dollar index. Dollar index is comprised of several currencies. The top three currencies in the US dollar index are the euro, the yen, and the pound. The weighted average of those changes. May change sooner than later between the pound and the yen. A few weeks ago, I showed economic information to my Patreon members of the prediction, not from me, but from deep insight agencies that look at the growth economics, and they are predicting United Kingdom be overtaking Japan in GDP. They'll still be in leadership positions, but again, one will supersede the other. Looking here at the US dollar index on the far right. Here's the high of last year, this yellow horizontal line. Here's the low. So US dollar last year was bearish. US dollar index for the month, last month, lower low, lower high. Huge consolidation down here. We filled up here these highs for a strong trend reversal. We are still down here. This current candle represents this new month of January 2026. But last year was bearish. Huge sell-off. We closed below the lows of 2024 and 2023. The middle chart, the weekly, short trading week due to holiday. Currently inside candle. Sitting back here, testing a third time, fourth time actually. Last four candles here on the weekly, we tested this prior demand zone of buyers. Buyers have been stepping down here on the wick. These big wicks, buyers have been stepping down there. But failure for a trend reversal. Trend reversal would be higher high, higher low. Has not occurred yet. Still bearish bias. And on the daily chart, several days ago, we had a swing low there. We broke it. That was a reversal. The trend has been up, higher highs, higher lows, after this huge panic selling. And all we did was test at midpoint right here, as expected. So looking back here again on the right, in the middle grid, yeah, consolidation. Trend is down. Dollar's bearish. If the U.S. continues on its course with lowering the short-term interest rate, that weakens the U.S. dollar. If the U.S. continues for the increase in spending, that ruins the value of the dollar. And that's what's been happening for the past 12 months. Let's continue on to the next. The next major currency. The euro. Again, it's the largest weighted currency in the US dollar. And all these currencies I'm showing you, they all have stock ETFs that trade on them. So if you don't want to trade the futures, currencies, or the currencies of the Forex market, there's stock ETFs you can trade it on. Yeah, so the euro here did the inverse from the dollar. Look here on the weekly in the middle chart. Massive consolidation. And right here. Today, took out that high and took out that low. Coming to a swing point right there, and buyers stepped in on the euro. Let's go on to the next. Japanese yen. Here's the low for last year. Last month, we did an inside candle. Here's the high of the year. So again, past several years here, huge consolidation for the Japanese yen. Middle chart weekly, 2 weeks in a row, inside candles, consolidation down here. I am still holding my positions I bought last year down here. And the daily chart. Yep. Again, last few days, not a surprise. Big consolidation down here. I don't see any setup right now. Go on to the next. Australian dollar. For 2025, the last candle made it high for the year. Nice, up strong. Makes sense. Australia is a commodity-based country. Gold, silver, strong. That helps our country. Middle chart weekly. We already took out the high of last year. So the current trend is still higher, high, higher, low. Big test on the midpoint right here. Nice. So for some reason, if you were not going to be buying metals, gold, or silver, we could be looking at those currencies that are heavily commodity-based that have a strong correlation to metals. Nice buying here on the dip. And the middle chart, far left chart, daily. Again, huge imbalance area, buyers, reversal. Let's go into the next currency. Canadian dollar, also another large commodity-based country. It benefits too from a strong metals market. So the far right monthly chart, here's the high of the year. Here's the low of the year. Last month of the year, up strong. Big, strong bullish candle. Nice. It makes sense. Test at midpoint of this big monthly candle. Again, Canadian dollar strong up here. Weekly chart. Yep. Momentum has been strong. Finishing the week, inside candle right here. So top of a trend and small candle on the inside. Solid body. That's equivalent to a red candle. So this is a pattern up here. It's a 2 candlestick pattern. It's referred to as a bearish harmony. So potential reverse. If you're bullish, could be watching, sitting on hands, waiting for the pullback, looking at key levels. Again, bearish harmony, bearish harmony. Some key levels right down here. And the daily chart on the Canadian dollar. Past few days, after that white candle, we've been trending down. Makes sense. Strong push up. Potential target. Somewhere, yep, sweet spot. Look at that. May not go much lower. Buyers may start being more aggressive, stepping in. Let's continue on to the next. Swiss franc. Here's a high last year. Here's a low. Massive consolidation occurring over here. Same in the middle chart weekly. Just massive consolidation. Building a lot of energy for the next breakout, wherever it may be. And the daily chart. Retracement. Makes sense. Let's go to our neighbors in the south. Mexico. Look at the peso. Far right chart monthly. Last month for the end of 2025, we made the all-time high for the year. Nice. Here's the bottom of last year. Here's the high of last year. Up strong. Peso is strong. And already for this year, we already took out the high of last year. Peso is strong against the US dollar. Here's on the weekly. And the daily chart. Huge move up today. Strong Mexican peso. That new high. Let's just again compare this with the Canadian dollar, the neighbors to the north. Yep, big difference between them. Interesting. Let's continue on to the next. The last currency we'll look at. Chinese yuan, US dollar. Monthly chart. Last month, we made a new low for the year. So the US dollar is bearish against the Chinese yuan. Look at that huge move off that last month. And for the new year, we already took out the low of last year plus the low of 2024. So again, this trend's down. That's bearish dollar. Yuan gaining strength again. Look at here chart, the middle chart, weekly. Yep. We already took out the low of this last year, as well as took out the low of 2024. US dollar is getting smacked down by the Chinese yuan. Wow. And we'll look at the crypto, Bitcoin. Far right monthly. Here's the high of last year. Here's the low last year. And the last month of last year, we made a lower high, higher low. Inside candle, small trading range, solid body, red, equivalent to a red. Weekly chart, massive consolidation here. Little bodies, huge wicks. That's a huge battle occurring in here. And the daily chart, higher high, higher low, big wick on the top, rejection prices. Makes sense. I'll finish this off, giving you some insight. This month of January 2026, the last week of this year, is the Federal Reserve scheduled meeting. And also, Congress is scheduled to shut down the government. Big events occurring this month. They will have an impact with the currencies. Thank you as always, spending just a little time with me. That's it for the video. Thank you for watching.